to ensure easy access for entrepreneurs and that the South African economy is adequately serviced. The IDC, through the Small Business Finance and Region Strategic Business Unit, has regional offices across the 9 provinces. So it doesn't matter where your business is located. There is an IDC office near you.
The project or business must exhibit economic merit in terms of profitability and sustainability. The company will also need to comply with South African business statutory requirements and international environmental standards. The shareholders or owners are expected to make a financial contribution and be involved in the day-to-day activities of the business. The business case should be presented in the form of a business plan and financial projections. These will be assessed to determine whether the proposal falls within IDC's mandate, which is focused on the manufacturing sector's job creation and transformation. IDC funds both startups and expansions of existing companies with a minimum funding requirement of 1 million rand.
The IDC, in their funding models, look at loans, we look at loan guarantees. To a lesser extent, we can take equity stakes in businesses, whereby we therefore fund through equity. And the last part, which is not what we do, grants. We do have a special fund currently called an agro-industrial fund. There is a grant portion that accompanies the loan, but as an IDC, as an institution, we do not generally offer grants. So maybe just to explain then the model, starting with the loan. The loan is what we give. Basically, we take a senior debt position and we fund charging interest and loan repayments. We customize our loans so that it aligns with the cash flow generation of a business to ensure that the company pays us when they are able to pay us and when they can afford to, which then speaks to the core of IDC, that you are a cash flow based financing institution looking to optimize and customize each loan facility to the needs of the company. Moving on to the loan guarantee, at times it happens that a company is looking for a facility, for an instance, a letter of credit. IDC is not able to provide a letter of credit, but we are able to guarantee a bank that provides a letter of credit. So that instrument then is afforded to the banks who see a risk in the underlying business that IDC perceive to have a potential to grow and is looking to play a developmental finance role in that company. On the equity stake, we do not generally take equity in companies. However, IDC as a corporate take equity in businesses. That is a proactive strategy that is taken by IDC internally to look for companies and businesses that are mature and they are able to turn around high returns. By that I mean dividends. So by the mere nature of being a DFI, we have a riskier book than a commercial bank because we look at the cash flow generation as opposed to security in our funding approach. So when we take equity, it is to balance our book and make sure that we do have dividend coming in to balance off the risky loan book. We also take equity driven by us as IDC as well, where we see the unlocking or opening up of an industry that did not exist before, and that industry has a potential to create more industries, and not only that, but have high returns in the long term. So I would say IDC takes equity, but it is a strategy that is driven in-house. It is not what we offer publicly to the market. The last bit is therefore the grants. Like I had said before briefly, IDC does not provide grants, but we do have a fund currently that has a grant portion to it. So if you are in agriculture, primary and secondary, and you're a black industrialist, there is a funding called agri-industrial There you can get up to 40% grant in your funding need, provided it's in line with the IDC mandate and what you're looking for is what we can fund as an institution. Yes, thanks.
The IDC runs various funds to support entrepreneurs in South Africa and the rest of Africa. Various funds are available. The first being the Grow EU Scheme Fund that is specifically focused on youth entrepreneurs for both startups and expansion of existing businesses. For the improvement of competitiveness, the IDC offers the MSEP suite of funds. It's called the Manufacturing Competitive Enhancement Program funds for both working capital and plant and equipment. For companies that has been impacted by COVID, there is a COVID Distress Fund, and more recently there was a fund released for the post-unrest and companies that were specifically impacted by the recent unrests in South Africa. There is also Unemployment Insurance Fund 2. The fund specifically focuses on businesses that has the capacity to generate jobs or to save jobs in companies situated in South Africa. Funding of renewable energy and energy efficient projects in South Africa of a smaller scale and smaller nature. And for manufacturing of green products in South Africa, there's a fund called the SunRef Fund to help the struggling steel industry with an interest subsidy that offers discounts to qualifying clients. There is the Downstream Steel Industry Competitiveness Fund to facilitate increased competition, growth and development in the agro-processing and beverage sector. The IDC has the Agro-Processing Competitiveness Fund, also called the APCF Fund, to assist SMEs and mid-cap companies to access loan financing for capital expenditure and also medium and long-term working capital. The IDC has the EIB, SME and mid-cap facility too. To support job creation and growth in the horticulture value chain, as well as transformation for all South Africans in an inclusive manner, the IDC has the Pro Orchards Free Scheme. To reindustrialize the downstream plastics industry in South Africa, the IDC has a scheme called Scheme for Sustainable Plastics.
I'll be speaking about the IDC sectors that we fund, and under each sector, I'll give an example. I have agro processing and agriculture. The example for that, it's fishery and aquaculture. I have automotive and transport equipment. The example is for its manufacture of motor vehicle trailers and semi-trailers. I have basic and specialty chemicals. The example is oil and gas. I also have basic metals and mining. The example is metal products industry. I have chemical products and pharmaceuticals. The example it's medical devices, plastic products, including plastic recycling. I also have clothing and textile. The example are leather products, clothing manufacturing. I also have heavy manufacturing. The example under that it's rubber products. I also have industry infrastructure. The example it's telecommunications broadband. I've got light manufacturing and tourism. That is hotel. Example is hotel development. I also have machinery and equipment. The example it's power supply equipment transforms and generators. I've got media and audio visual. The example, it's film and broadcasting. I've got new industry, that is for energy storage. I also have rest of Africa. The unit identifies opportunities and development region supplies for South African industries. Therefore, build a long-term sustain supply chain across the continent and general jobs. The key focus are for the rest of Africa, it's agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, minerals and mining, transport and other related and infrastructure.
Since its inception in 1940, the Industrial Development Corporation, IDC, has always funded small businesses. We have a dedicated small business channel where we take in funding applications from 1 million to 15 million rand. We typically fund startups and expansions. We can fund plant, machinery and equipment as well as working capital. We provide debt financing, and in certain circumstances will consider equity funding for small businesses. We also have a developmental objective to support job creation and social transformation to ensure that black entrepreneurs, women and youth have access to the mainstream economy. Our key focus areas are metals, mining, infrastructure and energy, manufacturing, agro-industries and services. I would specifically like to mention 2 success stories that the IDC supported. As you can imagine, business success does not happen overnight. The one success story for us is the noodle factory based in Cape Town. The noodle factory manufactures Chinese noodles for large and small retailers. It's the only one of its kind and the largest noodle manufacturer on the African continent, and it employs almost 400 people. The other one is Mellow Cabs, it's a startup based in Stellenbosch, and it's a manufacturer of electric scooter delivery vehicles, and it's possibly the only homegrown electric scooter manufacturer on the continent. Thank you.
You can access more information on the IDC website where you can apply online.